I think I've finally received everything that, because due to the New Year post and so on, I've been waiting on parcels. I think I've finally received everything. These are the front brake pads. I've got the brand new discs, and these are the rear brake pads. We'll have a look at what condition the rest of the rear braking system's in a different video. This is locking wire. I've got more than I could probably ever use in a lifetime. I think there's 125 meters, but it's stainless steel locking wire. This is one of the brand new bushers. You might have, if you've seen the videos this morning, I was struggling trying to. This is the bush that goes directly to the floor of the car. Just the sill just curves around here. We've got the radius arm going to the back, the rear suspension, and that's the one you would have probably seen me struggling furiously. And on my back, I struggled and struggled. There's nothing more I could put into it. My arms just wouldn't move anymore. I'll have another go at that tomorrow. Now, there is a bolt going straight through the centre of there, and it has locking wire. So I've got some locking wire, and there's also the brakes have locking wire. I'll probably in total use a metre of locking wire. I've got 125 metres, so I'll never run short of that. Now, I've got the complete bush set. This is the bush I could see was very perished. That's the one that goes behind the hub. I took the hub off so I could get that bolt out. Anyway, it's lovely to have a brand new one, because the old one it's very, very perished. Now the bush. And the larger of the bushes that fits underneath the floor, from the outside doesn't look too bad, but as I was sort of forcing it and trying to force it down, I could see the rubber at the top is in dreadful condition. This rubber here, this particular piece is metal, so we've got like it's actually. There's like a protrusion coming from the floor pan, and it's a tapered cone, and they're not actually welded on. They're actually either screwed or riveted on, and they're designed to sort of snap off if there's a rear end impact in the car and the whole suspension moves. Instead of it sort of forcing its way sort of through, if it was fixed too hard, the floors would sort of crumple and come inwards. It's designed where this bolt would hold, but the actual plate itself that holds the protrusion would actually shear off from the floor. And it's a safety thing, really. And it prevents the floor being forced upwards and possibly damaging rear seat passengers' feet. But it'd be a lot easier to fix, actually, if when you come to sort of repairing the crash damage. But it's a devil to remove. So you've got metal on metal, and I think they're all rusted together. And of course, you can't use heat, because it's surrounded by rubber. And there's just no way of getting any heat in. So I'm just trying to drive sort of, chisels and whatever. But space is so limited, it's an absolute nightmare. But I'll fight on. I'll have another go at it in the morning. But I've just coated it with WD-40, and my arms wouldn't move. There was just, I had the levers, but I couldn't. After about 40 minutes or so of fighting, I had no fight left in me. Now, I do have, I bought but never used, bashing the camera, a rather nice sort of set. It's for removing bushes, and let's just take a couple at random. I was hoping that there'd be one that would fit, but they're all too small. Bear in mind, most of this is rubber. We've got 3 millimeters. It's painted black, but there's 3 millimeters of steel there, and the press has to fit on the metal rather than on the rubber. If it's too good a match, as I force the press through, the press itself will become wedged in the suspension arm. So I've measured that, and I forget now. It's 90 millimeters from there to there. From extreme to extreme. So the hole inside the suspension arm will be 90mm. If I use a press tool that's 90mm, that will become wedged. So I need to find the press tool, and I don't have, I've got a box full of them, they're all brand new, and none of them fit, which is a real shame. So what I've found, this I use this. It's really heavy. It's a piece of, it's engine turned, and I use it for forming panels. Actually, you can sort of roll steel around it. You can use it for planishing, and I found out the top screws off. I didn't know. I've had this thing for about 30 years. I don't know what it is, but I use it just for forming small repair sections, bodywork repair sections, and I just didn't realise this screws off. And it so happens that is around about 0.5 millimetre smaller. That's 90mm, and that's between 89 and 89.5 millimetres. So theoretically, that can press out the original bush without getting, obviously I don't want it to get trapped in the there's around about 0.5 millimetre of difference. So theoretically that one will work as a press, and I can keep it in here and press from the top. I've got a 20-ton press which I've never used, so that'll be great fun. So I do think that this one's not going to present a problem. Now then, the other one's a bit more, I don't know, I must have 200 sockets. I've got 2 or 3 buckets full of them. And I just was convinced that one of them would be perfect. This is the closest, but it's too small by a couple of millimetres. And it touches the rubber. And we need it to just, now that metal there, I've measured it with, I've just measured it with dividers. It's quite difficult to get a rule in. I've measured with dividers the steel rim, and obviously just measured that on a stainless steel rule. And it's 2 millimetres, and that's 45 millimetres across. So what I need a socket set, a socket, I beg your pardon, which has an outer diameter of 44 millimetres, and that will 44 millimetres, because the piece for trying to press out is 45. If I get one at 45, that in itself will get jammed. So it's going to be a nuisance. I'm actually going to cycle to a parts suppliers tomorrow, like what they're called, like a. They sell car spares. I can't. The word escapes me. I'm tired. Forgive me. So it's only about a mile from home. So I'll cycle there with this in my pocket, and hopefully they will either be able to sell me a proper bush press or just a socket that has the outer diameter just to be about right. Now, if I can get the arm off the car, I've got my brand new press, so I should be able to, without any trouble at all, once I've got the arm off the car, if I get the correct tool, I should be able to press these out. A 20-ton press should have absolutely no trouble whatsoever. So we'll see. But it's just nice to have brand new bushes. They're not that expensive, a set. They're really not that expensive. But, the amount of work involved, it's astronomical, quite frankly. If you were paying somebody in a garage at garage rates to do this work, it would be an excruciatingly expensive, eye-wateringly expensive job. So once again, I'm saving myself a few £1,000s by freezing and grovelling in the street. But the simple truth is, my business is closed yet again due to COVID, and I can't work. I'm sort of at home. I can't travel to Brighton between my home in Brighton and Nottingham. So working on the car is ideal. I can't see my family, which is agony, but what else do you do with time? And, just by buying all of the components in advance, anticipating the lockdown, I've got everything I need. I just need to put the hard physical work in the time. But I do shudder to think how expensive these jobs would be. It would be massively, massively more than the value of the car. And it's what makes these cars so scarce, because they're really expensive to work on. The parts are not terribly expensive, but they're so expensive to work on. They're so physically demanding, and a lot of it is specialist knowledge. So they don't get done. So the cars fall to pieces and get dismantled for spares. And they just get more and more scarce. But So first thing in the morning, I'll just note I'm pretty sure that my trusty old whatever, it's just I just use it as a forming piece for forming, curved small repair panels. That's what I've had it years, so I'm sure that will do the trick. But I do need to find something that will press this one out. But I'll let you know tomorrow if I'm successful on my my little cycle trip out to the auto parts suppliers.